Still proud of my father's last name. Still got scars from when I was young. And I still feel the same. But if I could stop time, no fast forward, no rewind. Give myself a minute to chill, watching the water soothes my mind, helps me leave things behind. Sometimes we got to be nothing. Sometimes we got to be nothing. Be still.
This is a song that, it's a new Circle song, which is apparently on the new album coming out. Played it acoustically. It was the debut at the residency. Seemed very kind of country tinged. Recorded in Nashville. It's very chill. It's got a singer-songwriter quality to it. And Father Time, here's a clip.
Looking over my shoulder, I'm here soaking up the sun and thinking I ain't getting no younger. Crashing waves calling at the shore. Now that's been going on forever and more. There's something about the sun in Mexico. Yes. The feeling's different. But this island smells familiar. Don't remember, but I can't forget. Still in this pain. Ain't over yet. Ain't over yet.
Very kind of reflective. Obviously, he's talking about facing his age here. He keeps talking about the refrain, it ain't over yet, it ain't over yet. Now, this is also the song where he uses the phrase, when was the last time you did something for the first time, that he's so proud of writing. It is hysterical. But I don't know, it's almost a song about mellowing out in his old age. So what do you make of this massive, massive set list that he did, Dave?
Well, I like that he mixes it up. That's awesome. Like I said, awesome that he's doing old school Sammy, digging deep into the catalog and doing great songs that don't get a lot of play anymore.
I love all that, yeah.
So hats off to the guy for, playing great stuff from his catalog. The new songs were pretty laid back. Lyrically, they were pretty good for Sam. They weren't about cars or red. Or aliens, or the beach, or Cabo, or anything
Drinking,
like that.
sex, cars, the whole thing, yeah.
Right, but so lyrically they were pretty good. Musically, to me, I'm curious to hear what they sound like in finished form.
Me too.
Because to me, they just sound like a couple of decent acoustic songs.
Right.
That almost any artist could have banged out. I mean, they're not bad, but they're just a couple of acoustic songs. So we'll see how they sound when they're finished. But, hats off for Sam. He's still doing new stuff and, mixing it up with the old classics.
Somebody do a bootleg of this thing. I would love a compilation of all those songs together. Some of those songs, High and Dry Again, Space Station Number 5, Love or Money. I can't believe he pulled these out. Give to Lily, hasn't played in forever. So I was like, wow, I was really excited about that. Now listen to this, Dave. Sammy is not done yet. He's not going into the dark night. He has a mini tour of Texas he's doing, which he just announced, called A Toast of Texas. And what he's doing is he's doing an entire tour of the state where he's doing 4 nights. And he's playing this around the state to promote Sammy's Beach Bar cocktail. And it's the first line of canned sparkling rum cocktails. It's kind of launching in the Lone Star State. And he's doing it, using the shows as sort of a promotion for it. He's playing December 3rd at Billy Bob's at Fort Worth, Texas. October 4th at the Aztec Theater in San Antonio. And December 6th at the Moody Theater in Austin, and December 8th at the House of Blues in Houston. And he said here, it's a quote from Sam, "We chose cool, smaller venues on this tour so we could throw a party like we do in Cabo. It's about the whole experience. Fans can sample my new beach bar cocktail, sparkling rum cocktails, along with some Santo Tequila and Beach Bar Rum while listening to the Circle Jam. We'll be back next summer with the big rock shows. This is a party we're just throwing for Texas." So interesting there, and also interesting that he mentioned we'll be back next summer with big rock shows. So it sounds like If you guys remember, before COVID, Sam was supposed to tour with Whitesnake, and they were going to go on a big trek together as a big shed tour. Now, Whitesnake is doing a farewell tour in 2022. I'm wondering if they're going to rehook that up. It was supposed to be Whitesnake with Sam and Night Ranger. Night Ranger just released a new album. Whitesnake is doing the farewell tour. Sammy's going to have a new album coming out. I have a feeling that tour is coming out to the sheds this summer. What do you think?
That'd be awesome
Yeah.
if it does happen. But I just don't know because everybody's reshuffling everything.
I know.
And it depends on availability and stuff like that. I mean, I think David Coverdale is hankering to do his last tour and be done. So if Sam and Night Ranger are available, great. If they're not, he'll find somebody else and just do the tour and be done.
Well, you got to remember, they booked that stuff now for the summer. Now, even though it's not announced, they are booking it now. That's how that works. Yeah.
Right.
So that could very well be, quote unquote, a thing. You know what I mean? Because we know that he already has the album in the can. It's definitely coming out in 2022. I'm in the first half of it. And, he's probably, like he said, he's going to do a big summer tour. So more to come for the Circle, man. That's going to be interesting. So we should see what happens with that. So now, when he was out promoting his residency in Las Vegas at the Strat, he was on the Mike and Carla Morning Show, Dave. And he can't do an interview without talking about David Lee Roth. When they asked him about Dave, he says, "We don't even have a feud." He says, "To be honest with you, I have no problem with Dave. I don't know what he's got going with me, but I think he always feels competitive. I think he feels like he has to raise the flag like I'm Van Halen, because I had a solo career before Van Halen, and I was in Montrose before Van Halen, and I had Chickenfoot, and Dave's got Van Halen. So I think he has to hold that really kind of tight, but I don't care about that. If someone said, 'Oh, I never knew you were in Van Halen,' I'd say, which is absolute fucking bullshit. Because, listen, I love Sam. I love him solo. I love him in Montrose. I love him in Chickenfoot. And I love him in Van Halen. But come on. We all know Sammy doesn't want anybody to forget that he was the lead singer of Van Halen for a good 11 years and that they were successful. And that's why he's got Van Hagar, the other half, Instagram going. Come on.
Sure. That's what he's known for. That's his biggest meal ticket. And he has the audacity to say, "Oh, you were in Van Halen?" And his response would be, please.
Come on.
Dude, that's all you talk about. And that's the one thing that you're the most famous for. So please don't be like, "Oh, I've got all these other bands," because really, does anybody know the Circle? Really, that is a Sammy Hagar solo vehicle.
Oh, no,
and Chickenfoot, they had their 5 minutes, but, that's nothing either. Yes, he had a solo career before the band. And if you talk to Sam, he was as big as Van Halen in 1984.
Oh, yeah, huge.
But which is BS,
right.
Of course.
Right.
And his solo career was never as big as that. So he can talk blah, blah, blah out of both sides of his mouth and out of his ass all he wants.
I know.
But everybody knows, Sam, your biggest thing that you're known for is you were the second lead singer of Van Halen. And Sam, everybody also knows that you are trying to do everything to prove that your catalog with the band was just as good as important as the band's catalog with Dave, which, in my opinion, is not true.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. And you know what the other thing is? You could write a book on all the quotes that Sam has talked about Dave. Complain about him, calling him gay, all kinds of stuff, right? All that kinds of stuff. That kinds of stuff. However, Dave doesn't say much about Sam. The only thing he's ever said about Sam was, Sam throws a great party, I am the party. You know what I mean? Like, he's had a couple of quotes on Sam, but nothing too crazy. Like, I mean, he's had a couple of jabs at him, but not like Sam. Sam's always ripping. And then he goes, I don't know why he has anything with me. Sam's like, his memory's like Swiss cheese.
I know. He's like, I don't know why Dave has a beef with me. Dave has a beef with you. Dave didn't have a beef with you. Like, he doesn't say anything now.
Hey, dude, go
The
read.
last time he had a beef with you was 1986, dude.
I know. Read your book. Go read your own book. It's hysterical. Right. Anyway.
Exactly. Go read your own book.
Move on to things. Sammy and Guy Fieri, as everybody knows, they are co-owning Santos Spirits together, which is the new branded tequila. And they got together when Guy became the winner of a contest where his restaurant sold the most Cabo Wabo at the time, which was really kind of incredible. And that's how they got together. Sam said that he sold more Cabo than anyone and won a contest. So I went to meet him. He took the guitar he had won, flipped it over, and served me sushi. I thought, this guy can be my friend. And here we are in business 30 years later. And what happened was, after Sam sold Cabo Wabo, Guy got all upset and he said, I was heartbroken. The next sentence out of my mouth was, if you ever do this again, can I be involved? I always wanted to make real tequila. So 10 years later, he calls me, and that's what we're doing. And apparently, they're working on a new release. It's called a new Añejo, which is an aged tequila. And that's coming out in January, which Guy was all excited about because that's around his birthday time. And the two of them have plans, man. They're all excited about this. So Sam is going really hard on all this stuff. And when they asked him about what he's doing for the holidays, he says he's going to Cabo for Thanksgiving. Then he's going to come back, do the Texas shows in the beginning of December. Then he's going right back to Cabo through Christmas and New Year's. And he says while he's there, he's going to take a trip to Jalisco to see the factory and see how the new Añejo is doing, because it's coming out in January. And more with Guy and Sam, those two are like two brothers, those two. They even look similar, if you ask me. It's incredible. What do you think of that, Dave?
They are two brothers from a different mother, those guys.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, hats off to them. Sammy's always going in partnership with somebody selling a bottle of something.
Yeah.
Right? So this shouldn't surprise us at all. And I'm looking forward to see Sam in a T-shirt that'll be plugging that line of alcohol next.
I Heart Guy is going to say on the shirt. It's hysterical. Now, Mammoth WVH, who just finished wrapping up their tour with Guns N' Roses, and they were also doing some side solo shows on the side, they have announced a new tour co-headlining with Dirty Honey, another fantastic rock band for those of our listeners who want to listen to a new hot rock band. Dirty Honey, much like Mammoth WVH, fantastic. So this show is going to be fantastic. It's called the Young Guns North American Tour. So they're starting at the House of Blues in Chicago, and they're playing all throughout January, February, and the beginning of March. They're very excited about this. Wolfgang said, we played one co-headlining show with Dirty Honey back in September, and as soon as the night was over, we knew this would be a great package to take across the United States. We couldn't be more excited to share the stage with them, giving all our friends an unforgettable night of music. Dirty Honey, I just saw them open up for the Black Crowes. They were phenomenal. So they came off a big tour from the summer, much like Mammoth WVH. So these guys are really going hard. And then they both spoke to Rolling Stone, and when they asked Wolfgang about Ed, they said that he found playing on stage gave Wolfgang a chance to rekindle a connection he had with his late father. And Wolfgang said, it's really the only thing I've got anymore to feel that energy, that closeness with my dad. I'll always have the memories, but there's nothing better than just playing music live and playing the music that the two of us listened to together. We would listen to it all the time, and he was so proud and happy with it, and it feels like every night I'm doing it for him. Now, they also said that he's very proud to be a band that performs everything live. You know, there's no tracks. They don't play any tracks. He says, we are here to prove, meaning Mammoth WVH and Dirty Honey. This is Wolf talking here. We're here to prove that rock and roll is definitely still overexciting and chaotic and alive. That's what we are. We're raw and we're live. If it was perfect all the time, it would be boring as hell. There's something about a live performance that ebbs and flows, where it's different every night. And I think that's what we are. Both of us. 100% live bands who are there to kick ass. So they're both very excited about this. I would suggest you guys check this out. This is going to be a hot tour. Go see them. Both bands are phenomenal. So if you're going to just go see Mammoth, don't worry about it, because you're going to see Dirty Honey, and they are unbelievable as well. And I think they're going to flip-flop, Dave, back and forth, who opens, who closes, but it really doesn't matter. What do you make of this tour?
Oh, don't flip-flop. Has he learned nothing from Van Halen and their related lead singers? Don't do the flip-flop, man.
What do you think you should do?
You know what? Just pick somebody and they headline. I mean, does it really matter? You got to alternate every night. I mean, just flip a coin and just pick somebody to do it the whole tour. I mean, really, I hope they're not like, Hagar Roth and Children and fighting over who's going to open up
probably not.
for a certain city.